Season 2, Episode 3 of BBI Talks, and I'm your host, Professor KARRIEMAH LOTUS. BBI Talks is the platform where Black business owners and leaders discuss issues that matter to us. Today's topic is alopecia. Why are Black women losing their hair? Our featured Black business is Miss PK's Crochet Braids and its wonderful, beautiful founder, the one and only Queen, Miss PK herself. BBI Talks, you know what it is. Let's go.
We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad. They gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. Get what I need out the land. The earth is the kingdom of God. Glad that I know where I am. We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad. They gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. I can supply you the man. Get what I need out the land. Glad that I know where I am.
We are broadcasting live from RICE, which is the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs right here in Southwest Atlanta, right around the corner from the AUC. Our guest is undoubtedly the crochet braid queen with over 10 years in hair care, Black hair care in particular, providing natural hair care as well as crochet braid styles, such as the goddess faux locks, kinky twist, loose, deep, Bohemian, and Marley, to name a few. Whether you are in transition to reclaim your natural, beautiful hair or on the in jeopardy, of losing your hair, Miss PK Crochet Braids has been giving life back to Black hair. So without further ado, here's the queen herself, Miss PK.
Yeah, everybody. Thank you for the great introduction. I appreciate that. Very humbling. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. I am so excited to have you on the show, and we are just so honored. And we just gonna get into this conversation, sis, because there's so much to discuss. And I want to thank those of you who have logged on to Instagram Live to join us. Thank you so much. Those of you on Facebook and YouTube, get your questions together. Go ahead and drop it in that comment section, okay? And we'll be sure to ask the expert a little later on in the conversation. Is that okay? All right, so let's get this thing popping. Okay, so what is Miss PK's Crochet Braids, and how did you get started?
Okay, well, I got started years ago in in 2008, 2009, just like what's going on now with the pandemic. We had that collapse, and people were losing their jobs and everything, and I happened to be the one to lose a job. Wow. So what I did, always have something on the back burner. So I was working on getting my license for in-home daycare while I was working at night at the hospital, but I lost my hospital job. And so I went ahead and started to work on getting my license. But then in the midst of that, my daughter came home. She was going to college and she's working 2 part-time jobs. She said, "Mom, can you do these crochets?" I said, "Crochets? What the heck is crochets?" And and I had never been on YouTube. So I got on YouTube and I followed a couple of ladies on YouTube, learned how to do it, did her hair. She went to work. They were ranting and raving about how great her hair looked. And when she came home, she said, "Mom," she said, "why don't you just do this until you find another job?" And when she said that out of her mouth, spirit hit my spirit. The Lord said, "Go take it and run with it." And I have been running ever since. So the first year and a half, I got my daycare license. So I was working for a year and a half, 7 days a week. So I would get up at 6 in the morning, get the kids. Kids would leave at 6 p.m. and then 7 that evening, I would have one client Monday through Friday. Saturday, I would do hair all day. Sunday, go to church, lead praise, come back, do 2 more heads. And so I did that for a whole year and a half. So I got my clientele built up. And then I went ahead and renovated my garage and turned that into a salon.
Wow.
And I went from the salon, and that was like 7,000. I mean, it was a real salon. It was like I poured in like 7,000 into that garage. And then the HOA got wind of it. So I had to go to brick and mortar. So, God is good because everything worked out. I found a brick and mortar, went over there for about 3 years or so. And then I decided to downsize so I can be able to travel. But now the COVID, so I tried to downsize so I can be able to save more money to travel and just do some more things. So that's how I got started.
Beautiful. And I can tell you right now, with the pandemic being where we are right now, I'm sure that what you just shared regarding your journey has already been helpful to someone, thinking maybe everything is a lost cause, because people are still losing their jobs. Not everybody wants to take the vaccine. That is their personal prerogative. And so they may have to find something else to do. And so that was truly inspiring, sis. So what is the typical natural hair journey for the Black women that you provide services to?
Well, the typical natural hair journey would be they'll come in here. See, that's a journey. That's the key word, journey. Hair health journey. Some ladies, they go for it. They'll go ahead and get the big chop and start fresh with their natural hair. And then some ladies might, like myself, I went from a perm to going natural, but it took me about a good year before because I couldn't just chop it off. I went ahead and just let it grow out. Then finally you'll get to a point where either you have to put your perm back in, or call it the creamy crack, put that back in, or you have to go ahead and chop it off and just go natural. So since I was doing protective styles anyhow, I went ahead and chopped it off and start doing my crochet braids. And that's how I started my journey. And most women, they either do it those two ways to start their journey.
Awesome. What do you believe are the origins of some of our self-image challenges? Because, as Black women, I mean, we get it from every angle, right? Whether it be at work, our hair is too ethnic. I know Gabrielle Union went through that, even on her level of changing her hairstyle, which is not uncommon for us. I think that's a cultural thing for us. But I think Delta Airlines, they just made it a part of their policy where Black women can wear our hair natural, which to me, or wear braid styles or what have you, which is just crazy to me that even has to be a policy. And then I also want to make mention, in the city of South Fulton, big up to y'all, they just passed an ordinance that makes it permissible, no matter what position you hold in their government entity, that you can wear your hair natural, or however you decide that you want to wear it, whether it be locks or what have you. So with all of these things engaging us as Black women, it's hitting our self-esteem, our self-image. What do you believe is the origins of why we're getting the kind of backlash that we get just for simply being ourselves?
Well, really, like you said, a lot of corporations have not embraced natural hair. And to the point that one of my clients came in and she told me, listen, I'm taking out my crochets so I can go ahead and silk press my hair. Nothing wrong with silk pressing your hair. So I can go ahead and silk press my hair because I'm doing some footage, some advertisement for the company, and they don't want me wearing my crochet braids. So, it's still, some corporations are still, it's still, and they'll tell you, they don't want your hair colored. They don't want your hair this certain ways and this and that and the other. So, I'm glad to hear that is happening, but it's still a struggle. It's still a struggle. But I think as Black women, we need to be proud of our hair texture, because I find that that's a problem that, oh, well, your hair is silkier and your hair, no. Good hair, all hair is good hair.
That's
all
right.
Hair is good hair. I don't care if it's kinky, 4C, whatever it is, it's all good hair. But it's up to us how we manage our hair and what hair journey that we're taking with our hair, and so there's steps and things you need to do, to have good hair health, and I'm really a stickler about, good hair health.
And what do you believe are the best ways to address some of these self-image challenges, whether it be in other women or especially in our girls, because a lot of our young girls are struggling with it, and with weaves. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing weaves being put in girls' hair as young as 7 and 8
Yeah.
years old. And to me, that just seems a bit extreme. You know, and I, you know, I could just be, you know, in a old woman mind. I don't know. Maybe having a grandma moment. I don't know, but I'm subject to have that. I was reared by my grandmama, so sometimes I had these little old ways, and that could be it. Or maybe, just maybe, 7 years old is a little too young for a full
Yeah.
weave on a little
Yeah.
girl. So what
Yeah.
do you think is you know, at the root of that?
Well, one thing I will say that is really good news is that they're starting to make the Barbie dolls and the dolls for our young girls with afros, cornrows, braids, and so
Beautiful.
that movement is here, and I love it because that's self-image. Because you know, back in the day, nothing but white dolls and you know
Right.
blonde hair, and that didn't represent the community. So I'm glad to see that people are coming out with these marvelous, wonderful black, you know, dark skin, light skin, mocha skin dolls with
Yes.
afros. I mean, big afros. You know what I mean? So that is a plus right there. Now to answer your other question, you know, we're old school. My mother, you know, I wore good Lord. I mean, my natural hair forever and a day. I don't think I started wearing weave or anything until I got into high school. You know, so yeah, I think that when you're a baby that, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, you know, go ahead and do the corn rolls because you'll see too, and I've seen little girls because they're wearing all this extra stuff and extensions, their edges start to deteriorate. You know what I mean?
Mm.
At a young age, a 7-year-old, 8-year-old should not have their edges way back to their ear at that age. You know,
Wow.
that's because they're doing all this outside stuff, weaves and glue and you know so on. So I totally agree. You know, because give the baby a chance to grow her own hair out. You know, give them a chance to do that. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
You know, I was sharing with you offline that I'm going through a similar journey with my daughter, and she has a close friend who is Filipino. And
Yeah.
so there's a lot of this comparison happening, right? And so, you know, she wanted to kind of entertain, oh, well, I want to get this and I want to get that. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't you take this time to just learn how to love you?
That's it.
Love
That's
all
it.
of you.
That's it.
And so, you know, and we sat down and we talked about it. And I shared with her my journey when I was coming up and how I was insecure. And, you know, because I grew up around predominantly white people until,
Mm-hmm.
you know, from the time I was 9 years old throughout. And
Mm-hmm.
you get a lot of hits, if you
Mm-hmm.
will, right? Identity
Mm-hmm.
hits as you
Mm-hmm.
grow up like that. And so with her, I wanted to make sure that she really started to embrace herself. So she started looking it up, you know, determining like what her hair type was. And then she started looking into different products. I got Sister Najma, who has her own line of oils for the hair and
Okay.
skin, and they had a conversation. And I'm saying all this because, you know, just because you and I are doing what we do professionally does not mean that
Mhm.
we don't have similar journeys that we have to
Right.
go through with our young people as well. So we're not
That's right.
completely oblivious to what's happening, but at the
That's
same
right.
time, I think we kind of grew up in the same era, right? Without dating
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
ourselves.
Right.
Um, that there were just certain things our mothers just didn't do. You
That's
know,
right.
they they
That's
they
right.
they didn't necessarily, at least my mom, she wasn't necessarily one who uh gave me a lot of advice of what to do with my hair.
Mm-hmm.
But she was one who made sure that I at least looked at myself in the mirror and say I love my hair. You
Yeah.
know, and it had to grow on me. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now with the process of actually installing crochet braids, you mentioned about weaves and how at too young of an age you can start having that receding line, hairline. What is the process of actually installing crochet braids, and what makes that a little different from some of the other things that we've seen?
Well, can I just real quick backtrack to that last question you asked, and then I'll move
Sure,
forward.
sure.
So, what I was going to say, like for our daughters, our young girls, and as is that you know self love, and then affirmation, affirming who
Mhm.
you are every morning when you get up in that mirror. Even if you're putting little notes on the mirror, you know, I am beautiful. I am the queen. You know,
Yes.
I'm lovely. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. You know, put those things up before you, and you start to affirm that, and believe and build up your confidence and be happy with what God has given you. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I have a big forehead, but I love to have big lips. I love to have big hips. I love it.
Come on
Because
now.
that's what the Lord has given me. So
That's
I'm gonna
right.
embrace that. I'm gonna embrace that. So for our young girls, you know, embrace what you have. Short hair, long hair, no hair, bald hair. I'm still beautiful because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made.
That's right. And actually, we picked up two t-shirts. I ordered it online, and they read, "Our hair is dope."
That's good. That's
and,
good. I
and,
like that.
and we walk around wearing our
I
t-shirt.
like that. There you go.
Hello.
I like that. Send me one.
Oh, look, I got you, sis. I got you.
I like that. I like that.
So, okay. So now, what is the process of installing the crochet braids? What
So
is
the
that
process is, it's just a simple, well, you have to corn roll the hair. And so once you corn roll the hair, we have what's called a latch hook. And you take the latch hook and you get the synthetic hair, and you just simply put that underneath the corn roll and knot it off. And there you have it. It's a very simple process. And but the thing that where the technique comes in is the person's head size. If the person has alopecia, if the person has short hair or long hair, shaved hair, and then what kind of install are they getting? Are they getting locks? Because that's a different cornrow pattern. If they're getting a ringlet wand, it's a different cornrow pattern. Deep twist, it's a different cornrow pattern. So there are different cornrow patterns for particular hair, so they can lay the right way and look, you know, finished and polished.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Boy, I learn something new every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So is it hard on the hair, or what makes it an ideal protective style?
You know what? It's, to me, in my opinion, it's one of the best protective styles if it's installed correctly. Because it's corn rolled and there's no manipulation. You're not bothering your hair at all. The only thing you're doing is taking care of your scalp. And then you are, and I tell people, take care of your scalp, get some Fibroids, astringent, a toothbrush, and you're able to lift up the install and get right up in there and scrub that hair, and then come back with an essential oil, jojoba oil, coconut oil, argan oil, grapeseed oil, depending on what's going on with your hair. If you're dry, itchy scalp, or just normal. So, you know, depending on what's going on with your scalp, that's what kind of oil you want to put in to the hair.
Good to know. Very good to know. Okay, so I have a video. Okay. And if you want to give, well, first, before we get into the video, I know I said I was going to, I just want to make sure that I holla at my people here on Instagram Live and thank them for joining the show. Yolanda 6031, thank you for joining BBI Talks. Be Lifted Now, thank you for joining. And thank you. They said we look beautiful, Black queens. Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you to Fenton Skincare, and we pray to have her on real soon. She's got that superfood for the skin, y'all.
Okay.
I want to thank, they call me Mr. Crawford, who sells luxury real estate as well as shipping container homes and office suites there in Miami Beach. You got to do this when you say Miami Beach.
Wow.
I want to thank him so much for watching BBI Talks. So we've got a video, and I want to get to this video, and I think you might want to share what we're going to watch, even though it's narrated. I know there's some background that you would like to share.
Okay. This is the video, I believe, that where the lady has alopecia.
Yes.
And I'm showing the process of how we take care of braiding down her hair. Now, again, it depends on where the bald spot is, and it depends on the length of the person's hair, how I go about doing the braid down. So again, the braid down may be different for different heads. So this particular lady, I believe we did her braid forward because she had a lot missing on the top. And if we braided it forward and took it around, I believe that's the one we're going to see.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pull that video up because this is just awesome. Amazing work.
Okay, yeah.
Hi, Queens. Miss PK's of Miss PK's Crochet Braids, located in McDonough, Georgia. My client here has alopecia areata, and I am taking the hair from the back and braiding it towards the front. This way, she will have full coverage. And then I will take a braid from the back side. I'm going to take that back braid, the very bottom braid, and braid that all the way around towards the front to make like a helmet on her head. I don't like to use glue, and so I will need to put a net at the very top of her head, and everything else will do just fine without the net. So we're going to place the net on the top of her crown, sew that down, and then we will go ahead and do her install. And this way it allows her scalp to still breathe. She'll still be able to do her scrubs and her oil treatments on her scalp. So here we are putting in the install, and we're doing the soft dread by KARRIEMAH braid, which is a nice, durable, strong hair. And so we're going to do her regular install, and this will last her for at least about 5 to 6 weeks. And we cut it in a bob style, and I think she looks absolutely gorgeous. The second client that we're doing is, she has the same alopecia. And so what we're doing with her is we're taking her cornrow pattern and we're doing the beehive. Now, because there's such a big space and gap in between the cornrows, we had to put a whole net on her hair. And so in doing so, she still has the freedom of her scalp being able to breathe. And we use Deep Twist by Freetress for her hair install, and she looks absolutely beautiful. Thanks for watching, Queens.
Woo, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yes. The more that I watch that video, the more I'm convinced that is a ministry, sis.
Yes.
I can't even imagine, first of all, what it would feel like to lose my hair.
Yes.
Because we have such an attachment to our hair. It defines us in so many different ways. And so then to go through the shock of losing our hair, and then to meet someone like you, and you bring back the beauty that we might have thought we once lost.
Yeah,
that is just, there's such a healing in that. Just saying it is a healing in that. And I just was compelled to just share that. That is just such a beautiful ministry that you have. I know maybe people don't look at it that way.
No. Yeah. Yes.
But it's absolutely beautiful. Did you want to share some other things about what we just watched?
Oh, no, I'm in absolutely agreement with you, because it is a ministry, and I thank God that He's given me the opportunity to even do that. And I said, Lord, what to do in this situation, because they're all different, as you have seen.
Yeah.
And ladies come in, and sometimes, unfortunately, I have to turn them away, because if I do another install, they will have breakage. And sometimes their hair is so short and so thin, there's nothing I can do. That's why I decided to start making crochet braid wigs, so I could give the ladies another option. Say, if I can't do it, I'll go ahead and make you a wig. So that way, that's how my wig line came about, because of that. But it truly is a ministry. I truly love pampering and taking care of those ladies, because your hair is your crown and glory. And I have an opportunity to bring that back for them. And it's a blessing. It just makes you feel so good. It really does.
I can imagine. And speaking of making someone feel really, really good, we want to thank our sponsors, because without them, we would not be able to bring this program to you and you and you. So we thank them so much. So we're just going to cut to a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back and talk some more.
This episode of BBI Talks is brought to you by our proud sponsor, Abdullah Daniels Group, LLC, We are a full-service life insurance agency that represents multiple carriers in all 50 states. For more details, log on to our website at adgllc.org or call us at 404-561-7480. Abdullah Daniels Group, Life Insurance Agency.
And we're back. We are back. Did you have a chance to see that announcement, to witness that announcement?
I did.
And what were your thoughts?
I did. I love it. I love it. You're seeing a lot of Black women owning their crown. They're owning that. I've seen a lot of ladies just at peace and confident, wearing, just being bald.
Yes.
I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome when you can get to that point in your life and you're saying, what the heck? I don't care anymore. I'm beautiful with hair or without.
That's right.
I love it. I love
it. So for those who don't know, but tuned in today because they want to find out more, what is alopecia?
Okay, now I will put this disclaimer out here. I'm not a dermatologist, but from my experience, my research, and the ladies I have dealt with over the years, I've come to learn a little bit about alopecia. Alopecia, there's different forms of it. And alopecia is simply hair loss. You know, you can have a mild hair loss, or you can have a major hair loss. So alopecia aorta, that's the one we just saw in the last footage. Those ladies just bald right there. And sometimes that baldness is hereditary. But so, yeah, sometimes it's hereditary. That form right there. Somebody down the line, the family had it, just, passes on. I don't know all the scientific detail behind that, but it can be hereditary. And then some people can lose their hair on their head, their eyebrows. I mean, hair all over your body can be lost. That's another form of alopecia. And then they have the alopecia that comes from chemical burns. When you have gone to a person and they put the relaxer in and end up, over processing, and it ends up burning your scalp. That's why it's so important for people to go to a licensed cosmetologist when you're dealing with chemicals.
Yes.
We don't do chemicals here because I'm natural, so we don't do chemicals here. But if you decide to do the relaxer, or I call it creamy crack, you can go ahead and go to a licensed cosmetologist. And then there's alopecia, the alopecia that causes, most Black women have it. Lord just left my little brain there, but it's traction, alopecia traction. So that's very common with us sisters. And a reason why that's so common is because what we do, we pull back our hair entirely too much, and we keep it up too tight. Or if we have it in a ponytail, we'll have it in the middle, and you can't keep it in one space. So if you're going to do a ponytail, just do a top, bring it down to the side, bring it down to the back, move it around, rotate it. Because it happened to me years ago when I just kept putting my ponytail right here. Well, I had a hair loss starting to develop right there. So
Wow.
move that ponytail around. Yeah, move it around. And then when we go to get our hair cornrow, because that's a really, really big thing, make sure that, you know, the stylist is not pulling your edges. So what you can do, queens, is just say, hey, can you guys just start back here? You see my edges right there? Okay, I don't want you to take that up. Go ahead and start back here and take that up and braid there, because you can always slick this down or just, you know, slick it down and move it over. So that way it's going to save your edges. And then a lot of people, these sisters, queens, you guys get away from that glue, doing these quick weaves. You know, I don't know if you have footage of that quick weave that was done by somebody. You guys can go to my Instagram, but it was a quick weave, and the lady, I swear you guys, she must have took the whole bottle of the glue and put it on the woman's hair. Then on top of that, she put a cap on that, and then she came back and put the hair weave on and glued it on the cap.
Lord.
So needless to say, I mean, it was just a disaster. So needless to say, when I took that out, she lost a lot of hair. Her scalp was severely irritated, and she had some spots that were bleeding a little bit because of the glue. So, and I tell people, you know, there's so many things you can do out there, so many styles you can do out there without using glue. But there are licensed cosmetologists who know how to apply your quick weave the right way. And then if you're doing the quick weave, have somebody professional to take it down, because I know some of my clients, you know, they'll get a quick weave, and then 2 weeks later, they snatching it out and doing something else. Another 2 weeks snatching it out. And so you get the snatch out. By the time you get 40, 50, 60, you're going to have patches and spots in your head that could have been prevented if you had not done all that in your 20s. Yes. So, you know, I try to, you know, tell the ladies, you know, no, they try to stay away from the glue, you know, and if you're going to do that, get somebody who exactly knows what they're doing when it comes to that, because alopecia traction is a very serious deal, but it can be prevented. It can be prevented, you know.
I'm thinking about the chemical burn.
Yeah.
And relaxers, because that's very, very common. And sometimes we may not know that what we are feeling in our scalp is in fact a chemical burn. But if it's causing a scab to develop, that means that there's something going on there. And if you peel that scab away, whether it be from you trying to scratch your hair out or scratch your scalp out or what have you, and you start bleeding, that's a problem. And maybe sometimes we have these in our hair and we just don't recognize it as being a chemical burn, but it's real. I wanted to ask you as it relates to the edges. And this is a conversation I've had recently with my daughter, because everybody wants to do all these creative things with their edges. At what point does that become harmful and you start losing your edges from the
good question.
From slicking it down?
Yeah, very good question. When I tell people when you want to do designer edge and everything, that's cute and everything, that's nice, but don't do that too often, because once somebody does that real nice swivel edge, they like to tie it down and keep it for 2 or 3 days. My thing is, if you're going to do it, take it out, get some leave-in conditioner at night, and just go ahead and scrub that out, you know, rinse that out, and then reapply the next morning. Don't, because what happens is that people, they'll leave it in, it'll get clumped up, and then all of a sudden when you're trying to comb through it or get through it, you know, you're losing your edges. And especially when people get braids or, you know, even the crochets, then they take the gel too far up into the braid. And so once you get up in here and you keep doing that, well, guess what? You have buildup. You have gel buildup. So when it's time to take it down, you notice it's just like, you know, really gummy and tough and hard. So you have to take that out, and then you have a little hair loss right there. So I just say at night, just take it out and just reapply.
Okay, so with that said, we're going to segue to Instagram, because there's some comments up here that I want to read. Be Lifted Now says, great topic. Miss PK is the bomb, y'all. That's a direct quote.
All right, thank you so much.
Brother Ahmad Design System said he was watching on Facebook, and he said our young women should be taught to embrace their own beauty. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Thank you for sharing that, big brother. And let's see. Brother Aunt D is asking, does Miss PK find that women are willfully ignorant when it comes to the effect of placing chemicals in their hair and on their scalp, or are they sincerely lacking information? Excellent question. Thank you, Instagram.
I think it could be I believe that I mean, it can go way back to slavery days and not embracing our natural hair and beauty and getting the lye put in way back in the day and not accepting, embracing our natural hair back in the day. So we start doing the lye, start doing the perms and everything that I think it's a person's preference now, because there's no excuse for anybody not to, you know, if you want to go natural, there's no excuse, because there's so many natural products out there and so many good protective styles that your hair can look beautiful naturally. So I think it's a preference for the woman. Now, I will say, you know, I will say that I prefer natural over the chemicals, because they are chemicals. You know what I mean? And we don't know, you know, how bad that's damaging, you know, our hair. Now, my daughter, she went natural for a little while and she just couldn't take it anymore. So she went back to the creamy crack. That's a preference, you know. That's a preference. But, you know, my thing is, if you are, then take care of your hair. That's the problem. We're not taking care of our hair. So, yeah, I'm you know, natural, because it's just better. It's just better for your hair. It's more longevity with the hair. I really do.
You know, one of the things that came up in one of my previous episodes on why Black women are suffering from infertility. And one of the things that was discussed is the number of Black women that suffer from fibroids. And that there have been research that has come out that has made a direct connection or link between that creamy crack, aka relaxer, and the development of fibroids. And so we, you know, prayerfully we'll have another conversation about that, because when we're talking about this creamy crack and where it's coming from and what got us on the road to that, we understand it was a destructive path from the beginning. You know, and now we're seeing the impact of that today with fertility rising among Black women. That was the name of the episode. Sorry. So that's something that we really, really need to discuss. And as Black women, we need to understand the importance of reevaluating our addiction to this creamy crack. Because now it's getting very serious. It's not just about the chemical burns anymore. It's not just about the identity concerns. Now we're talking about our ability to reproduce ourselves. So I just wanted to kind of share that, because I think that was just so critical to what you were sharing a little earlier about our addiction, really. Now I want to ask, are any of the forms of alopecia that you mentioned earlier, are they preventable? Are any of them preventable? Is there anything that we can do to kind of protect ourselves from developing that?
Yeah, the alopecia traction is very preventable. You know, like I was saying before, you know, there's things that you can do to not cause your edges to come out. There's things you can do if we don't, like I said, don't pull your hair up so much. You know, be mindful of how you're styling your hair. And then when you're getting your cornrow done, just put your hand right there on the cornrow as she's doing it. It takes the pressure off of that edge. And one thing I want to mention too, do not be afraid to talk to your stylist. Communicate with your stylist, because I'll ask my clients all the time, is that too tight? If it's too much of a pull, you know, let me know if it's too tight, because that affects your hair growth. So we have to learn how to communicate, and once they start and you go on out your ooch, you say, oh, can you not, you know, pull it too tight, and you know, just reiterate that. You know, we have to speak up for our hair health. We have to. You know, you can say it in a nice way. You have to be nasty about it.
Right. I mean, it's better than the nasty bumps that you get and the headache.
The hair bump.
Yeah. That's too much. So here's the topic. Why are Black women losing their hair? What is going on with us?
Okay. Well, you know what? It's It could be a plethora of things. Number one, I do believe that, if you're at the extreme and you really don't know what's going on with your hair loss, to go and consult a dermatologist, because I do believe that you need to go ahead and get your blood workup done, because a lot of times we lack, especially Black women, we lack in iron and we lack in vitamin D. So those are things that we lack in that can stunt our hair growth. So I definitely do blood workup, menopause, premenopause, hormone problems, issues, thyroid issues, stress, stress from a relationship, verbal abuse, mental abuse, any kind of stress, even someone who's in your life that's toxic can cause you to lose hair, going through tribulations like divorce, things like that, financial situations, stress is really a silent killer, and it really does affect your hair. And then also some of the things that cause hair loss is just not having a proper hair journey. You're not doing anything with your hair at all. You just rely on the protective style, a weave or a quick weave, or even some braids, and then you're not doing anything to take care of your hair. You don't have a shampoo routine. You don't have a moisturizer routine. And it's like anything, if you want to see some productivity in it, you're going to have to set aside time and be persistent with it. You have to make time. So, those are some of the things, and medication. If you're on medication, medication can cause severe hair loss, for Black women, people in general, but, medication. So I always tell people, go and see your dermatologist if you just can't figure out what's going on. And our diet, not drinking enough water, the things that we're inputting, because, your hair follicles, that's attached to a nerve, which is attached to your body. So whatever you're putting inside your body is going to come out, so you have to watch, your diet and pick up on more greens, and I'll tell people, get you a prenatal vitamin, because that's, packed with iron. Go ahead and do a skin, nail, and hair vitamin. There are, without trying to name people, there's some people I use, but and collagen, protein and collagen, and bone broth. You can make up your own bone broth. Is good for thickening up your hair, to get that hair to going. But the thing about it is that people have to be patient with your hair growth. We think we take a couple pills, we do this, it's going to grow in 2 weeks, because we're in a microwave society. Yeah. It doesn't. You have to give it 3 months, 6 months to a year for your hair to be strengthened, thickened, and get some length to it. So you have to take time. You have to pamper your hair, and you have to be intentional about your hair.
Absolutely. I see, since we're in this social media driven society, I see these clips, this woman from the origins of the original tribe of Africa has been using this unheard of system to growing their hair 7 and 8 feet long. Let's take a look. And so you
right. And you know what? That's so crazy. That's so crazy, because you know what? The thing about it, that we have so many multiple products out here. If one thing works, why we keep coming up with all these other? You have to figure out what works for you, because I could be a 4C, you could be a 4C, but the products you use are not helping me, because I believe that we have 2 different textures in our hair. Like for me, my front grows longer than my back, and in my middle, it's just like really super thick. So there's 2 textures going on. So you have to figure out, what works well for your hair, and then it's hereditary. Some families, they just have hair. Big hair, a lot of hair. So you're going to have that 20-inch hair, because that runs in the family. That runs in the family.
You mean it's not that ancient African remedy?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. If that's the case, we all have hair down to our ankles. Yeah.
Whenever I see it, I'm like, wow, that is so funny.
Yeah. Don't get impressed. Don't get impressed.
So funny. So we know that that's something that we don't want to do. So what are the actual hair care tips that we can apply at home that would make sense.
Okay, so what you need to do, I believe in protective style. Leave your protective style in for I say 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. If you're dealing with thin hair or your hair is just not cooperating, you want to do 4 to 6, because if you do 4 to 6, that gives you time in between to take a break. So I tell people, take a break in between your protective styles, at least 2 weeks to a month. I take 6 weeks, and I'll just wear my natural hair. I'll wear a wig for 6 weeks. But in that time, that gives you the opportunity to get your hair hydrated, shampooed, and deep conditioned. At that time, you're probably going to need your protein treatment, and also make sure you're keeping up with your trims, because, you know, your hair grows a half an inch every month. So you want to make sure that, you know, it depends on how damaged your hair is. You might need to get it more often if your hair is more damaged. But, you know, and make sure you're doing those things while your hair is down. And then come in the middle of the week and go ahead and moisturize your hair. Moisturize that hair in the middle of the week. And then if you're doing every 2 weeks for your shampoo, once a week for your moisturizer, and then go back to whatever protective style you're going to do. And then, like I say, take your hair, skin, and nail vitamins, you know, bone broth, whatever you're going to do, protein drink, whatever you're going to do that as well. Incorporate water in your routine, and just try to eat, you know, a little bit more healthier, you know. And then you can go to your protective styles, crochet braids, number 1. And then you can do a wig, or you can just wear your natural hair. So those are some things you can do.
Now, when we say wearing a wig, because that could mean back to glue.
No, so now
when you're saying wig, in what context do you mean it?
No. I'm talking about the wigs where you do have to cut that net off, but don't apply glue. Why apply the glue? There's wigs out there where they don't have the thing you got to cut out. You know, just get your nice, you know, inexpensive wig and pop it on. You know, just pop it on. You know, there's wigs out there. I make wigs too, and I love my wigs because it lets your scalp breathe. And then I can customize the net, you know, for your head. But yeah, no glue. Just pop it on, and they have combs in there. You can attach it, or just put some bobby pins to attach it, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, I just want to make that distinction, because I can hear somebody out there right now saying, "Oh, I'll just get this wig and they'll glue it on," and you right back where you started.
Yeah, I know.
So now, at what point should we consult a doctor, and what type of doctor should we seek out if we start noticeably losing our hair?
Yeah, so most of the times people know if there's a situation. You know, most of the times, you know, I tell people try these other things first, and then if you have tried the list I gave previously, and you have done that, then what you want to do is So what you want to do is go ahead, and people are texting me. Go ahead and go to a dermatologist. You know, go ahead, because you may need some medication to take care of your issue. And I've had several ladies that have come to me for their crochets, and they're going to their dermatologist trying to get that hair to grow back. I had one lady, Miss April Brown, and she was with me for about 1.5 years, and she only wanted her install done on the outside, and then she just pull up into a ponytail so that she can get her medication and everything. So, you know, just go to a dermatologist and get a workup to see what's going on. I will say that the ladies that have gotten the shots in their heads, from the ladies that I have spoken with, said it didn't work. It was a waste of money, and it was very painful. So, you know, that procedure, you know, that's just what my ladies have told me about that procedure. But, you know, my thing is try everything else I was telling you before. And then if that doesn't work, go see a dermatologist, and you might need to get some medication or some medicated shampoo and get yourself situated that way.
Yes. Woo, thank you for that. I just can't even imagine, sis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to Instagram. We have Sister Cheryl D. Booker, who's checking in on Instagram, and apparently she must know you. She's extending her greetings, and she's chiming in. So true. So she's agreeing with what you're saying. Thank you so much for watching BBI Talks. And I also want to thank those who are on Facebook that I may not be able to see, but my producer can. And I want to thank him Brother Aunt D, for always being so very supportive and making sure that this show runs without any kind of difficulties whatsoever. And you're just awesome at what you do in supporting me and this show. So thank you. And I want to thank those of you who are watching on YouTube. Now, tell us what is new with Miss PK.
Okay, what's new?
What's new? Look, give us the tea.
I know, I'm excited. I'm excited because this is for men too. So all you men out there, tell your friends that this service is the ASMR shampoo service. And what you receive in this service, you get the ambiance, you get all the candles, the lights are low, you get the nice, soothing, relaxing music. And I go ahead and massage the shoulders, the neck, and the head. Then I take you and you do a shampoo, do a nice shampoo, which is real relaxing. And after that, for the ladies, you get a nice simple braid down. And so that's good when you're done with your protective style, or if you just get that done and you want to go and get some braids or whatever. But that is for everybody. Please, men, come in. And men, disclaimer, if you're married or have a partner, please bring her with you. Bring her with you. I do not do married men without their spouse. Not gonna do it. So bring that partner. But if you're single, come on in, and I will be glad to do that ASMR shampoo. And I love it. And it's about an hour and a half service.
Oh,
now,
wow.
If the man is bald, you still get the same service, except for you don't get a braid down. That's it.
You know, I'm thinking this is the perfect soon. You know, Father's Day is around the corner.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm thinking this is the perfect Father's Day.
Yes,
y'all hear me?
Yes.
Look, I always, give y'all a little game when I can to keep keep love alive in your home. And I think this sounds like an amazing gift for your man.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yes, and then you can go into Instagram, and then you can see that because what it does is, first of all, it relaxes you. And then also it stimulates the blood flow, and then also helps to assist in the growth. So it's just so refreshing and so relaxing. And people fall asleep. People really just love it. And the atmosphere is stellar. So I'm telling you, right now it's a good price.
And if you are one who goes to sleep during massages and stuff, you might want to secure an Uber. So that you can get home after this treatment.
That's right.
Make a whole date out of it.
I will take you there.
That is amazing. Well, look, we need to know how to get in contact with you. So please share your contact information with everybody.
Okay, it's real simple. Miss PK's Crochet Braids. That's across the line. You can Google it. You can book your appointment on styleseat.com. Look for Miss PK's Crochet Braids. I am on Instagram. That's the main one. Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and Facebook. But mainly it's the Instagram, and then book it on styleseat.com. And I look forward to seeing you, queens and kings.
That's right. And you know what? Wait a minute. Before we get out of here, we have got to say something. Some of the things that you shared, that men too can suffer from alopecia.
Yeah, men can suffer from alopecia, but there's a fix for that. If you guys didn't know, there's a fix. It's called a unit, a man's unit. So look that up online, a man's unit. There are people that can assist you in that and get you right back to brand new and fresh.
That's right. And it's not a toupee. It's advanced.
No, it's not a toupee. It's not a toupee. It's a process. But if you look it up online, you'll find it, and you'll see how some people, they're so gifted. It just makes it look like it's your own hair. I mean, it's just amazing. It's amazing.
Truly amazing. And I watch it on YouTube, and I'm telling you, brothers, when she tell you there's a fix, okay? So, I want to thank you again so much for coming on BBI Talks. It has been an awesome conversation. Everyone who's joined in has watched it and had great comments, and they're just so pleased that you shared all the information that you did.
Wonderful. Wonderful. It was my pleasure for being here. And again, I thank you for the opportunity, Professor, that you decided to put me on the show. So I'm appreciative. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you have 2 quick announcements that you want to make before you get out of here. And then we're going to cut to commercial and close out.
Okay, so I am a part of Connecting Henry with the GED program, and all you do is you want to get together with Connecting Henry, and what I do is I teach how to start your own small business to the students there once a month. So if you're interested or know anybody who needs to take some free GED classes, that's Connecting Henry, and the director is Barbara Coleman, and you can just Google that.
Awesome. And then you had one more?
One more, it's the same program, and they do internships. So okay. if your young adult is a part of the program and they're looking for a job, they do internships which are paid. And so I hired a young lady from that program, and it's an awesome program. And she came in here and I showed her the ropes. Now she can do crochet braids where she didn't even know how to cornrow. So wow. It's a good opportunity, free, and then you can get some work experience on top of that for free, and the person gets paid for doing it. So it's an exceptional program.
Amazing. So please make sure that you reach out to Miss PK for all the above. Don't forget about, I'm calling it a Father's Day gift, but it's a year-round gift. But
there you go.
You come in, men and women, get your scalp massage, your neck and your shoulder. I mean, I'm there already.
Yes.
So be sure to reach out for Miss PK as well. And I thank you. Thank you for those of you who are on Instagram Live. Thank you for those who are on Facebook as well as on YouTube. This has been an amazing show, and we really do appreciate you tuning in every Wednesday at 3 p.m. for BBI Talks. I'm your professor, KARRIEMAH Lotus. You know what it is. BBI Talks.
This episode of BBI Talks is brought to you by our proud sponsor, Abdullah Daniels Group, LLC. We are a full-service life insurance agency that represents multiple carriers in all 50 states. For more details, log on to our website at adgllc.org or call us at 404-561-7480. Abdullah Daniels Group, Life Insurance Agency.
We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad, they gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man, get what I need out the land. The earth is the kingdom of God. Glad that I know where I am. We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad, they gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. I can supply you the man. Get what I need out the land. Glad that I